of the mountains. I've hunted and I've fished, and I've cross-country skied, and I've photographed them, and I've prayed in them, and I've just enjoyed their beauty. So I have a special connection with them in a lot of ways, and it's been the mountains that has given me many of my greatest spiritual experiences. And it's probably where I feel closest to God, other than maybe here. And so it's kind of interesting that mountains for centuries have also called other people. Now, I'm not sure for them what it means, but I know for me it's the beauty, the vistas that you can see as far as the eye can see. It's the different colors, it's the silence, and sometimes it's even the getting there. If you have to hike or you have to climb or you have to put yourself in a little bit of danger, that can create a spiritual experience. But I'm not the only one. And for centuries, people have been called by the mountains. For instance, in the high Himalayas, Buddhist monks have built monasteries and temples, and pilgrims still go there today, as they have for centuries, seeking enlightenment, seeking a deeper understanding, seeking wisdom. And if you look all throughout the Alps, the Pyrenees, the European Alps, and the Austrian Alps, the Benedictines, and the Franciscans, and the Dominicans, and many other groups built monasteries, and they still live in those places today in a very quiet, austere almost, spiritual existence. But people go there to have a greater connection with God. And for many of the same reasons that I like to go to the mountains. The spiritual experience, the vistas, the views, the silence, the colors. But it's not just monasteries and mountain experiences that do this. I've talked to people who have driven over the Colorado National Monument who talk about the same kinds of faith experiences. Maybe that's the drive, but maybe it's the view. And I've talked to people who have looked into the depths of the Black Canyon or the Grand Canyon or Lador Canyon, or have been up on top of Mount Garfield. And they've also had those deep faith experiences. And so these scripture passages that we heard today, the Old Testament lesson from our Exodus experience and from Matthew, talk about mountains and how, Moses was called up on a mountain. Now imagine if you're one of those people with Moses, and God calls Moses up on the mountain, and you see the clouds gather over the mountain. And all of a sudden you hear God's voice, and you see this almost unquenchable fire and light from the top of the mountain, and then Moses goes up and meets God. And Moses spends 40 days and 40 nights there. My guess is that Moses' life and the lives of every one of those people that had shared in that experience was transformed. And I'll bet all of them knew who God was, or had an understanding of this larger power and larger force. And this experience with the disciples and Jesus, they're at a prayer retreat. They're all there together, and Jesus says, well, I need to go for a walk and get some fresh air. Let's go up and pray on the mountain. And they go up, and they walk up the mountain, and all of a sudden Jesus' face is bathed in this light of ecstasy and joy. And they see his garments white like the sun. And he sees Moses, and they see Moses and Elijah talking to Jesus. They hear God's voice. And they're frightened. I'm sure most of us would be in that situation. And they fell on their knees. Jesus says, don't be afraid. Now their lives were transformed. And their experiences were incredible. But I wonder, what would have happened had they not had those invitations to go up on the mountain? Would they have gone up on the mountain? Would they have had those transforming experiences? Or would they have been too busy, perhaps, living life every day to have noticed? Now, I don't think you have to go up on a mountain to have a transformative, if you will, transfigurative experience. I think you can have it in a lot of ways.